Today, we're taking a look at the book entitled The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. So if this sounds interesting to you, stay with me. Well, hi everyone, this is Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And today I am coming to you with a book review. I recently read the book The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that book, and I wanted to show you how I store some of my personal growth and development notes in my OneNote notebooks. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this video today. All right, as you can see here on my screen, I am in my research notes section of my 2024 planner. It's just an extra section that I add at the end or some years at the beginning, just to keep track of all of those notes for things that I am reading about and learning about that I want to keep track of. This is not a regular, fiction book. So I'm not doing one of my traditional book review pages for this. I have a separate template for personal development notes. So before we get started with all of the goodies for this book, I want to show you what that template looks like, okay? All right, so let's go to Insert, Page Templates, and on the side over here, you see all of my page templates come up. There are a number of page templates that are already in OneNote, but under My Templates, you can see all of the page templates that I have created over the years. This personal development notes one is one that I created a couple of years ago. If I click on that, it's going to give me a blank page with that template on there. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can see here, this is one of the ones that kind of came with the original OneNote, 10 years ago. And it has this nice graphic of a notebook up here in the corner, and it had some basic text boxes that were spread around, and I kind of tweaked it a little bit to match the kind of things that I wanted to record about the notes that I was taking, okay? So there is a section up here for what is the status of this note. Is this an idea that I had? Is it an active note that I'm currently working on and learning about? Or is this a permanent note that I want to, kind of archive and put away, but I don't want to lose it. I don't want to delete it, okay? And then tags, there's a section here for tags, any, hashtags that I might be following for this, or, just tags that I think would be helpful for myself. Maybe this is a book about gardening, so I want to put that as a tag. Maybe it's a productivity book, so I want to put that as a tag. So there's just a place there for me to put those things. Then I also have a little text box over here for keywords or topic areas. So again, if it was gardening, it might be gardening and shrubs and shade tolerant and flowering and those kinds of things. Just so if I'm doing a quick search, I can find that note, okay? Then down here in the next section, there's a place called References, and it says, there's a little note there to myself, link to the original information. Where did you get this original information from? You'll see in the one that I just did, it's a book that I checked out from the library, so I don't really have a link, but I did list it that it is, a book from the library. It might be a Kindle book that I have stored on my Kindle. It might be a book that's upstairs on my bookshelf in the library, or it might be a link to a web page or something like that, some information where I originally got the information that I'm looking at, okay? Then there's another section for links down here, and this has links to other pages or resources that relate to this book. So sometimes, you'll start reading a book and they will refer or they'll talk about a particular study or another author that they might have gotten some information from, or there might be a great quote in there from somebody famous back in history that you want to go and research that. So this is where I would put those other links, okay, that might be given to me from the material that I am studying. Then there's a section down here for summary, and you see here it says after class, meaning if I were taking a class, use this space to summarize the main points from the lecture topic. If I'm using it for notes from reading from a book, again, as I'm reading the book, I will take notes, or after I have read the book, I will go back and take notes. Normally, for me, I read a little bit and write things down, read a little bit and write things down. That way I don't forget, where I'm at in the book and any of those important quotes that I want to keep track of. So that's kind of how I do it. Then there's a section down here for study questions. What other things or areas of interest did reading this book make you think about or lead you to want to do more research in? Okay, so you see I kind of have a question mark down here for any questions that I might have. And I also have a research tag down here for things that I might want to learn more about, okay? Now, the beauty of this just being all of these individual text boxes is that I can move them around if I want. Let's say I need more space for summary. I can just take these study questions and move them down and keep writing in my summary box, okay? But you know me, sometimes when I have all these text boxes and they start to get out of order, it makes me a little uncomfortable. I like to use tables. So I took this same information and I put it in a personal development notes 2 that has more table orientation. So let me show you that one. All right, so down here is personal development notes 2. And when I click on that, you see I get a new page. Okay, and it looks very similar. The information is exactly the same. So we have our status, our tags, and our keywords. Up here at the top, I have put these things in a table. Let me see. If I go to click in there and bring up the table menu, I have actually hidden the borders. But if I bring the borders back, you can see that I created 5 columns across and 3 rows down. And what I did there is I'm just leaving a blank column to be a, separator between the different sections. And then when I hide those borders, they kind of go away and I can just click under status. I can click under tags. I can click under keywords and still stay within my table. Okay. Down here at the bottom, I created a second table for, again, those references, those links, summary, and study questions that I might want. But I also added a couple of columns on the end. And when we get to the page about the slight edge, I will show you why I added those extra columns, okay? Sometimes I like to add graphics, and I think that would be a great way to keep those graphics straight, all right? Well, now that I've shown you my template and my revised 2.0 template, let's go back and take a look at the notes that I took for the book, The Slight Edge. All right, so you can see here that I have that basic format. I have my status, my tags, my keywords, references, links, summary, all of that. You see I took a lot of notes on this one. And then I have some study questions, other things that I want to research down here at the bottom, okay? So let's just go through this a little bit. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. I have here The Slight Edge. This is the cover of the book, and the author is Jeff Olson. And this is from the book, and I thought it was a good quote. The truth is, what you do matters. What you do today matters. What you do every day matters. Successful people just do the things that seem to make no difference in the act of doing them, and they do them over and over until the compound effect kicks in, okay? So that's basically the essence of this book. You can be successful by doing small things that are easy to do. They're also easy not to do. And if you do them over and over again, repeatedly, that you will kick in that compound interest effect, all right? Think about it just like if you're investing and, you put $20 every, 2 weeks into your IRA account or something like that. Over time, that interest is going to compound. And, within a few years, you will have quite a bit of money, much more than if you had just stocked that $20 away in a box under your bed or something like that. So that's basically what the slide edge is talking about. Do the things, show up, do the work, put in the time, stick with it for the long haul, have a positive attitude, and hopefully things will work out. Okay? All right. So that's the essence of the book. That is the cover of the book. And you see here for my keywords, my areas of topics here, I just put in a little simple daily disciplines, live productive actions, repeated continuously over time, add up to the difference between failure and success. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to skip these links because these are some things for a strengths survey, and there's some information there about the author. I wanted to learn a little bit more about him and his background. Okay. So my key summaries or takeaways for this particular book. He talks about living a value-driven life. And the value-driven life mantra would be something like, if I work harder, then I will expect you to pay me more. Okay? The opposite of that would be, if you pay me more, then I'll work harder. But the value-driven life says, no, my work ethic is to work hard and to show up and to do the things. And when I do that, you will recognize the value that I'm adding and you will pay me more. Okay? All right. I thought that was interesting, so I wrote that down. And this one I feel is extremely important, not only in the area of productivity, but in life in general. There's a natural progression to everything in life. And that natural progression is to plant, to cultivate over time, and then to harvest. Okay. Now, as a gardener, I completely understand that. You take those little tiny bulbs for your daffodils in the fall, in October, November, or December, and you plant them in the ground and you cover them up and you let them stay there. And nothing happens, and nothing happens, and nothing happens. And you think, well, did somebody eat them? Are they gone? What's happening? And then suddenly in January, you start to see a little bit sticking up, a little bit more, a little bit more. And over time, by the end of February, March, into March, you have these beautiful daffodils that are blooming. And if you would like, for your Easter table, you can go out and harvest a few of those daffodils. Okay. So I thought that was very poignant, and I liked that. I also liked it because cultivate is my word of the year for 2024. And it really just goes to show that anything that you're working on, if you cultivate it, if you tend to it, if you, take the time to work on it a little bit every day, that eventually you will have something that you can harvest. Okay. Now, the interesting thing that I love about OneNote that I have trouble doing in paper notebooks is coming up with all of these graphics. Okay. I think they're really cool. This one, Jeff Olson is talking about in this book about how life, along the time of life, if you make a series of simple, disciplines and you do the same thing over and over, and you're doing it for the right reasons and the right way, that you will become a successful person. If you have these simple errors in judgment that you make over and over and over, and you keep making the same mistakes, that you will become a failure at what you are doing. Okay. So this is kind of a diagram that was in the book. And then here is an even more expounded diagram on that. And it talks about the responsibility. If you're living a life of responsibility and it's a value-driven life, you are doing these little disciplines, these little tasks, and what might feel uncomfortable early becomes comfortable later over time. Think about it this way. Think about if you are starting a new exercise routine. And the first day you say, my goal is to be able to walk 5 miles. Okay. If you went out the first day and you walked 5 miles, first of all, I'm not sure, if you've never really been a walker before, that you could walk 5 miles. But if you did, you would be extremely uncomfortable in learning to walk that far. But if you took it a little bit at a time, and let's say the first day or the first week you walk a half a mile every day, and then you add on to that and you work your way up to 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. over time, you're not going to feel that discomfort anymore because it's going to feel a lot easier for you to do that work. I think that's a good idea. Okay. All right. And the philosophies and attitudes and actions and the results equal your lifestyle. And that lifestyle relates to your finances, your health, your business, your career, your personal development, and your personal relationships that you have with people. Okay? I thought that was pretty cool. All right. Another sentence that I found in the book that was interesting to me was that you have complete control over the direction that the rest of your life takes. Your philosophy creates your attitudes, your actions, your results, which creates your life as a whole. Okay, that's what this diagram up here is talking about. Then there was a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson from his essay on compensation that says, "Do the thing and you will have the power." Okay, that means if you work at something every day, you will eventually gain that skill. You will have that power. All right. And this was an interesting fact that I found. 5%, or 1 in 20 of us, we the people, will achieve a level of success which is found in the mundane and easy things that anyone can do. And remember, I said at the top, these things are easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. Okay? It's easy to walk for 15 minutes every day, but it's also easy to say, I've got other things to do. I'm not going to take that walk today. Okay? So that's what they mean by mundane things. They're not extraordinary things. They are simple things that, done over time, compound into success. Okay? So these are simple things and easy to do. They're also easy not to do. And there was a quote in there about Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, you can't get instantaneous success. And consistently repeated daily actions plus time equals an unconquerable results or massive success. Okay? Have faith in the process of simple, positive actions repeated over time. So you're getting the idea here, right? He's really pounding this into us that, we have to do these things. We have to show up. We have to do the work. And eventually the success will come. This one, though, by Albert Schweitzer, I love this. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. Okay? And I went back and looked up that quote and wanted to know a little bit more about Albert Schweitzer. And again, this is what I love about OneNote. I can just take this little paragraph that I found and put it right here on my page and have those things linked together, okay? So Albert Schweitzer was best known for being a musician and a theologian and a physician. And above all, he was a true humanitarian. The overarching principle that guided him was reverence for life. And I think if we all had some reverence for life around us, that would be wonderful. He took that philosophy and it took him to the jungles of Africa where he healed many and he touched the lives of millions worldwide. Okay? All right. Reverence for life means stopping for that turtle that's trying to cross the road and let him get across. Reverence for life means, taking care of the birds in the wintertime and feeding them. I digress. Let's keep going on. Let's see. This one was interesting too. Again, I'm just writing down sentences that pop out at me as I'm reading the book. Your life equals your health. The healthier you are, the more life you can experience. Well, we all know that when we get plenty of sleep and we are healthy and feel good and we wake up energized, we get a lot more accomplished. We get a lot more done. We go and experience a lot more things. When we are tired, when we are sick, when we are not feeling well, all we really want to do is sleep or rest or just make it through what we need to get through life. So this is a reminder for all of us to take care of your health because your health equals your life. Financial health, on the other hand, gives you freedom for your hobbies, for your passions, for your talents, for your gifts. So work hard, earn some money, and live within your means so that you will have that good financial health. You don't need to spend every penny that you make. Save that for a rainy day, as Benjamin Franklin would tell us. Happiness is created by simple things that we do every day. And then Jeff gives us a list of things that, you want to pick one to start with. And then he gives us some other ideas as well. So quickly go through these. Write down gratitude things, different things for each day, maybe 3 things. Well, if you've seen my weekly plan and my daily plans, I do have a place where I do like to write down gratitude. And so I think that I am already doing that. Journal about positive experiences that you have. Meditate daily to clear your mind, even if it's 10 minutes, just to clear your mind and to get yourself settled. Do random acts of kindness. Exercise daily, even if it's only for 15 minutes. Make more time for friends. That's something that I've been working hard to do this year. Practice savoring the moment. Just take a moment when you're outside and the breeze feels lovely, or you're walking down the street and you see a beautiful window box. Just take a moment to savor that and enjoy the beauty and, the things that are going on around you. Maybe, you experience a mother with a baby in a stroller and they're just talking and playing with each other. You may not know this lady, you may not know this child, but just to savor that moment, that personal connection that mother is having with that child. Those things are precious and they make us smile. Have a positive perspective. I think this is very, very important. And I try to have a positive outlook as often as I can. Cultivate relationships. Again, there's that word, cultivate. Work on those relationships. Text your friends. Reach out to people that you haven't seen in a while. Send a card to someone who's not feeling well. Ask your neighbor if you can do something to help them. Cultivate those relationships because they do enrich our lives. Practicing forgiveness. Engaging in meaningful activities. I know so many of us just spend time scrolling on our phones and looking at things that really are not meaningful, when we could take the time to do things that give us more purpose and are more meaningful. That's something for me to keep in mind. Hopefully it'll help you too. Practice acts of giving and read 10 pages every day. Just reading a little bit every day. When my daughter was younger, we read every morning right after breakfast. We had 2 big comfy chairs in that room over there behind me, and we couldn't wait to finish breakfast and sit over there and read what was happening in our book for the day. Sometimes we went more than 10 pages, but depending on the schedule of the day. But anyway, it was something fun to look forward to and a great way to start off our day every morning. An important thing to remember is that your life touches other people's lives. If you've ever been to a funeral, which I've been to quite a few lately, there's always that time in the service where other people are asked to talk about the person who has passed. And it is always interesting to me that we don't realize while we are alive how many other lives we have actually touched. And that's something to keep in mind as we go about, our daily lives, that we do touch other people's lives and other people touch our lives, which is an awful segue for me to say this. But, I just wanted to say while I'm talking about this, that I really do appreciate each and every one of you who watches my videos, who gives me a like, who comments on the video, just to tell me something that you liked about the video, or that I have pretty flowers behind me, or that you're learning something new. So I wanted to say thank you for that. And please keep leaving those comments. It really does make my day, and I try to respond to every single one. So thanks so much for that. All right, now I got to some important things because I put them in purple. Apparently I was feeling purple when I was reading this. People on the successful curve, you remember that curve we saw at the beginning? People on the successful curve live in responsibility. Successful people are pulled by the future. What is coming ahead? What are we looking forward to? What do we want to accomplish in the future? Okay? People on the failure curve, That was the one where they were making bad decisions over and over. People on the failure curve live in blame, meaning they don't take responsibility for what happened. They blame others for the things that are happening to them, and they are pulled by the past. Well, I couldn't do X because this happened to me in the past. I just found that very interesting, so I wrote that down. The wisest investment that you can make is an investment in your own continuous learning and development. I am somebody who loves to learn something new every day. I love reading all of the time. I love listening to podcasts. And so this one struck me, a wise investment that you make in yourself. And I keep telling all the young people that I know, all of my Girl Scouts that, I helped raise up through the Girl Scout various levels, that those investments that you make in yourself, if you get a job and they offer training classes, take them. If they offer a certification process, take it. If they want to send you to a conference, go. Anything that you can learn helps build up who you are and the skills that you have so that you can go on and do other things, okay? All right. Learn by books and learn by doing. Work with a mentor. And you may have seen this little graphic that I created up here in PowerPoint. Work with a mentor, someone you admire and respect. And this is the study part, studying what your mentor is doing, talk with them, reading things, let them model for you how that should be done. You can then model for others how that is done, and then the doing process, okay? And it's a continuous circle, to study, to model, to do, okay? All right. That was one of my biggest, philosophies, teaching philosophies when I was teaching, especially elementary students. Learn by doing. We would read a book about a particular topic, and then we would start doing it. We were very project-based, because you really learn more by actually getting your hands dirty and getting involved and doing the planning and working out the plan and making it all come together. Planting by reading the book, getting the ideas, cultivating by gathering and planning and actually doing the work, and then harvesting, seeing what you get at the end, okay? All right. This one I thought was really interesting, and again, this is something that I used to tell the kids a lot, that I taught. Your life reflects your 5 closest friends. Just think about that for a moment. Who are your 5 closest friends? And how do they reflect on your life? So I would always tell my students and my Girl Scouts, choose your friends wisely because they will influence your life. And the good old fable, steady wins the race. You see here I have my picture of the tortoise and the hare, and he's doing slow and steady, but look at him getting to that finish line where other rabbits get off track and get distracted with other things, all the other shiny things that are coming. But that tortoise, he's just working his way. Slow and steady wins the race. I really enjoyed this book. I learned a lot, as you can tell. Clear out your undone and your incomplete, because those things clutter up your mind. If you have things that are undone, David Allen from Getting Things Done says, get those out of your brain, capture them somewhere, make a list of things that are undone, put together a project box of things that are incomplete so that you can clear those out of your mind and not get distracted like that hare we just talked about. And celebrating your wins. I've talked about this before. As I do my weekly review, I like to keep a list of things that were wins for me. They may not be wins for other people, but for me, it was a win, and I'm going to write it down. I'm going to celebrate it, and I'm going to be happy about it. Okay? Now we get to the 7 habits of this whole process called the slight edge. Habit number 1, show up and do it. Those are those little mundane things that he was talking about. Reading every day, journaling, writing things down, show up, put in the work. Number 2, be consistent, right? We all know what consistency means. Working at it. Number 3, have a positive outlook. We talked about that earlier. Positive people are happier people, and happiness leads to success. Okay. Commit for the long haul. Remember, we talked about that compounding interest. You can't put $20 in the bank and expect to have $1,000 at the end of the week. It doesn't work that way. But if you're in it for the long haul and you're working for something, you're working down the line for things, that's when it pays off. Okay. Number 5, cultivate a burning desire backed by faith in yourself. Believe that you can do these things. Write these goals down and believe that you can do them and work every day to get them done. Number 6, be willing to pay the price. Sometimes you have to say no. You might say, well, yeah, I'd love to go, shopping with you this afternoon, but I really need to get this exercise in. So could we do it after that? Or, I'm not going to be able to go this weekend because I have these other projects that I have to work on, that I've already made that commitment to myself. Sometimes you have to say no. And it's not easy to say no. And you don't have to really give an excuse for why you can't do something. You simply can just say, no, I can't fit that into my schedule right now. I have other commitments that I have made. They don't know that they're to yourself. It doesn't matter. You're just not going to be able to do it. Okay? And habit number 7, practice the slight edge integrity, even when no one is looking. And what that means is doing the right thing, showing up, doing the right thing over and over again, even when no one is looking. Okay? Nobody has to know that you're reading 10 pages every day. Nobody has to know that you're writing down your gratitude every day. You can keep those things personal and private, but when no one is looking, that's why it's called integrity. That's what builds your character. It's doing the right thing all the time, even when nobody's looking. We all know people that can do the wrong things when they're by themselves, and then when they get out in front of the public, or their friends, or their church members or whatever, they want to look like this fine, upstanding person who's done all the right things, but in the meantime, they've been having an affair, or cheating on their taxes, or whatever it happens to be. So integrity matters. All right. And then down here, I'm getting near the bottom, 3 steps to achieve, spelling error there, your goals. And we've talked about this before. I do this all the time. Write it down. We've done quarterly planning. We've done yearly planning. You've seen me break that quarterly planning down into what I need to get done for the month, and then what I need to get done for the week. Write it down. Make sure that it has a clear description. A what do I need to do? And a when. A what and a when. A what and a when. A clear description and a timeline to get it done in. Okay? Look at it every day. So that's why I take that goals section and put it in my weekly so that I know what I'm supposed to be doing and keep my focus on it. Start with a plan, not a plane. Start with a plan, make it simple, and this gets you started. Okay, those baby steps. We've talked about those baby steps a lot. Starting with that 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk, 20-minute walk. Okay, all right. And then some goal areas to look for or to look at in your life. And again, we've talked about goal areas before. These are the ones that were in this particular book called The Slight Edge. He says to look at your health, because remember, your health is your life. And a healthier person can do more things. To look at your happiness, because a happy person is successful. To look at your relationships, because they help determine who you are as a person. Look at your personal development, learning, growing, reading all the time. Look at your finances, because that will give you freedom to learn and do more and practice your hobbies and all that kind of thing. Look at your career, continue learning to make advancements in your career. And then look at your impact on the world. Remember, we said that everybody's life touches other people's lives. What impact are you having on the world? Could be the world that you're living in, very small, in your community. Do you volunteer at the library or at your children's school? Do you work with seniors in your neighborhood? Are you helping with projects for a 4-H club or a Scouts group or something like that? How are you giving back? How are you making an impact in that world? Are you a soccer coach? Are you a theater mom? What is it that you are doing to help give back? Okay? All right, and that's really what I learned from this book, The Slight Edge. And I have some other things down here that I wanted to learn about. I wanted to look up Jeff Olson's biography. Um, and he also mentioned in the book that if you don't know what your strengths are, then go to the VIA Institute on Character's website and take the VIA survey. The cost is free, but the knowledge is priceless. I will leave this link in the description box below if you would like to go and check out what your strengths are and see how you can help develop your character. And then another one that was listed here is Christopher Cook, psychologist and author of the book The Compassionate Achiever, says that anyone who believes their personal success hasn't benefited from others is simply lying. Okay? We do not live in a bubble. We, get information from other people, and that has benefited us. Okay? So we have to acknowledge that, and The Compassionate Achiever looks like a book that I might be interested in. So I'm going to check at my local library and see if that book is available. All right? Now, you see here in OneNote that sometimes my notes can get a little messy with all of my diagrams and all of those things that I like to add. But you know what? For me, that is one of the things that I love about OneNote, okay? What I think I would do, though, in the second iteration where I created a table here, and I'm just going to copy this one just to show you. So let me make a copy of that. If I go over here and I wanted to take a note on Ralph Waldo Emerson, I could do that here. And then over here in this particular cell, I could paste that quote. And you see it kind of helps keep things lined up. Again, because it's a graphic, I can make it smaller if I want. And then as I'm scrolling in, I'm still able to read what that quote says. Do the thing and you will have the power, but they that do not do the thing do not have the power. Okay, so that was interesting. So I'm thinking that this table over here might be an interesting way to kind of, help keep things a little bit more organized. I don't usually add as many graphics to my notes, but I thought I would just, kind of create this and see how it works. Remember, one of the things that I love to do in OneNote all the time is change my pages, change my templates, make different iterations of them, and try to come up with the perfect thing. All right. Well, there you go. There's my summary of The Slight Edge. I think it was a great book. I enjoyed reading it from the library. I got a lot of information. It just reinforced a lot of the information and the things that I already know and that I already do and teach to my students. But again, it was a good, different perspective on a couple of things. And it just really helped me reinforce that, things are working and we're doing the right thing. Well, thanks for joining me today. I'm glad you stuck with me through this book review of the nonfiction book, the productivity book, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I really enjoyed it. And if you've read this book before, leave me a comment and tell me what your favorite quote was. If you've not read this book before, again, leave me a comment and let me know which one of my points that I pulled out of the book was something that struck a chord with you. All right, and until next time, here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye. I like to live on the edge, but not if it's a slight edge. That would be scary.